Hello, I am Angelus Demoness, here to review the brand new idle RPG mobile game, Panilla Saga. The game is described as both strategically fun and that you can enjoy a free-of-hand casual experience. To reference my perspective of this review, I am the type of player who enjoys these types of games as a free-to-play gamer. I also usually tend to give big chunks of time into any game when I decide to play it. So I'll usually play these games exhausting all the resources available until I hit any inevitable time or resource walls. This being an idle RPG, it does lean more into short bursts versus long sessions for an optimal experience, unless you decide to spend money of course. But I won't hold that against this game due to that aspect and my preference of gaming. Panilla Saga has a pretty deep story and a lot of lore between heroes. This game provides multiple factions, multiple classes, and multiple roles, each contributing to a system of strengths and weaknesses. That allows for some interesting depth into unit builds as you get deeper into the game, and unlock more units because you get bonuses for a mixture of said factions and roles, etc. The beginning part of the game is your run-of-the-mill introduction and tutorial portion, just like most games. It gives you a quick rundown of important features, how the battle works, so on. What is nice for my gameplay was I was able to get through almost all the basic parts of the game and get a good understanding of base features before I hit my first wall. Granted, I did spend the time reading the story dialogue and whatnot, so any gamer speeding through any text might hit a wall much faster than I did. And by wall, I mean a spot where either you had to wait for some time to earn rewards, or spend some cash to get stronger and or get more units. In terms of the story, I will say it did catch my attention from the get-go. Aside from a common world is in grave danger trope, it does construct a somewhat intriguing storyline that I did want to keep learning as the game progressed. The world and character building seemed to progress at a pretty good pace. Not too fast where you thought things got skipped over, and not too slow where it felt like it dragged on. The battle in this game starts off simple, but I quickly realized where the complexity can come in. In addition, as you progressed further into the story, you unlock more and more features such as arena fights, PvP, and different battle features. The main battle experience with the main story is set up as 5 units. It was suggested to set it up as 2 tank units in the front to hold advancing enemies at bay, 3 ranged, magic, attacking, or support and healing units in the back. I do like the fact that even though it advised an ideal loadout, it doesn't restrict you in how to set up your units. This allows for creative unit combinations, which I am very sure would come into play depending on the various game types Panilla Saga has available. I also found myself swapping units in and out and adjusting positions to have more success in some battles. This to me seemed to open a lot of doors to the strategic fun the game advertises. Additionally, although it had the hands-free gaming for the battle with auto mode, I did find myself disabling auto sometimes because having some control over the abilities allowed me a more optimal use of them. Again, this sort of lends into the strategic part of this game, and I liked having that option. In terms of the fight themselves, the regular enemy story fights were pretty simple, and more of a level check if anything. I did have a pretty good challenge on story boss fights as they were noticeably harder than the normal fights. It was during these fights I had to start managing how I deployed my units, because how the enemies engaged my team and how my units battled really made a difference between winning and losing. I will note I hit my first wall about 2 hours into gameplay, where I had no more options to progress outside of either spending money or waiting for my idle treasure to gather rewards, which I opted for the latter. And as expected of a game that is defined as an idle RPG. After giving the game some time to accumulate rewards, I was easily able to progress the story and see more of the game. This was perfectly fine for me since I set my expectations for this type of gameplay. As I unlocked more features, the Chessboard of Ages mode caught my attention when I tried it. You have a choice of picking battles, heals, or power-ups, as well as rewarded for random power-ups for each battle you win. This definitely lended to a lot of on-the-spot planning, much like a roguelike. It was also cool that you had the ability to try out units you don't currently have, giving a nice look at a variety of characters and what they could do in case you wanted to hunt down a specific one on unit pools in the shop. I am a big fan of roguelike type features or games, so this looked like a great feature for my gaming preferences. One fundamental feature I had enjoyed was that I could reset a character I had already leveled. This allows me to essentially transfer levels to a new unit if, let's say, I picked up a SSR to replace my SR. In my playthrough, it did not cost me anything to reset my character, but I do suspect it would cost some resources to reset either SSR units or a very high level unit. Regardless, the feature is great to have so you don't feel stuck by over-leveling a unit that in the future just becomes useless to your loadout for different events or content. Overall, I feel that this game is well structured and is full of a variety of features that should excite a variety of gamers. For example, I personally don't enjoy PvP in these types of games, but that's okay, because there are many other things I could spend my time on in this game. The idle aspect is well displayed here, and for a game designed for mobile, I think this does play well to a gamer who can play in small bites and still feel you can progress at a moderate pace. As mentioned at the top of this video, I am more of a free-to-play gamer, so the pay aspects and options are not something I would have focused on. In that respect, I felt like I had more than enough to do for an hour or two in Panilla Saga per day without feeling stuck or feeling forced to drop money just to keep going. As I unlocked more features, it added even more to what I can do, which means I could probably play for longer sessions if I could, or be very content with short sessions. If you needed a game to occupy some of those idle periods of real life, this idle RPG might be a good download to spend the time. Thank you for watching.
乱暴なものだと